Hey everyone, I'm Tiffany and you found me on the Wise Skies channel. I'm here to do Tarot Friday for you for December 9th, 2022. As you guys know, if you've been watching, we are in a 9-month and integration month, and today's a 9-day. So happy 9/9. And let's see what's going on in the astrology before we get going is that Mercury will have just moved into Capricorn, right? And so this is the time of year where we can be thinking strategy, thinking planning, realigning with some of our goals and ideas of what we want the details to look like the rest of the year and into next year. I want to remind you that sometimes the energy won't really shift until late January. So January 22nd is the Rave New Year in human design when the sun moves into the 41st gate. So don't be pressurized by December 31st. Give yourself a little extra breathing room. Know that Mercury has just moved into Capricorn. We've just had this big, huge full moon in Gemini on the 8th. And that's where we have too many tabs open and we're aware of it and we're starting to say no and close things down. And so that can be very relieving, but sometimes it can be stressful if things didn't really go how we wanted them to go. So finding a little bit of a peace with when we're shutting some things down this year. So that's what's cooking in the astrology. There's a lot more to it. Come over to wiseskiescollective.com and check out the blog. If you haven't downloaded your 2023 digital calendar yet, I've got all of the astrology for the whole year in a digital format that works on any device. It's at our shop tab at wiseskiescollective.com. And so is the 2023 journal. So there's a planner that's in paperback form. So if you're not a digital person, you still want to write, your stuff in to your calendar, your planner, check that out too. Let's get started with Aries and see what it is that our Aries need to hear for the weekend ahead. Just some practical advice or guidance for our Aries. Let's see, we got a 4 of Cups and a Queen of Pentacles reversed. So some of our Aries, this can be that sense of feeling like they're a little too much. And so this is when you get to go energy shopping. This is when you get to spend time with the people that you choose to spend time with. This is when there's some guilt-free taking care of yourself and backing up and saying no to some things that are energy draining. So Aries, this weekend, I want you to be aware of where you're going energy shopping and what you're putting in your cart, right? Like who you're spending some time with, what you're putting into your brain, what you're ruminating about, right? So Aries, a little bit of energy shopping for you. Let's clear the deck for our Taurus and see what our Taurus need to hear for the weekend ahead. Some practical advice for guidance that helps them feel connected to spirit, seen by the unseen world. Gives them a wow, an aha moment, something that they hadn't thought of yet. All right, the 8 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. So it's happening fast with the 8 of Swords. Something is happening quickly. You've been waiting and waiting. You've been wanting to go sailing, but there's been no wind, right? You've been wanting to get a suntan, but there's been no sun. You've been wanting to start a business, but there are no customers. There's this sense of like yearning and waiting and wanting and right timing that's coming to you, Taurus. And so it'll happen fast. When it happens quick, right? So I had an example of that recently. There was a big purchase in my life that I was kind of interested in, and there wasn't anything like coming in the market. And all of a sudden it came on one day. I went and I got it, and it like 8 things had to fall into place, and they did really quickly. So it's this waiting, and then all of a sudden things are fine. So don't stress the small stuff, Taurus. Things are going to go in your favor. Let's clear for I'm like Wednesday, Mercury, Gemini. Let's clear for Gemini. Thank you, Spirit, for your sense of humor. What is it that our Geminis need to hear for the weekend of December the 9th? Okay. Queen of Pentacles reversed, 4 of Wands reversed. Interesting. So Spirit really wants us to hear this message, right? We've got this combo a couple of times. So Geminis, you too, there's this sense of yearning, this waiting, this wanting, but if the timing isn't right, it's not going to happen. So there's this kind of emotional buildup or this readiness that you're having, like you have painted the boat, the sails are up, but there's no wind, so it's not time to go sailing yet. Well, very soon it's going to be time to go sailing, and you're going to wish that you had your boat painted and your sails up. So be preparing, be ready. So know what you want. So there's that moment that you're like, that's what I want. I got it. I was in the market for a mountain bike a couple of years ago, several years ago, many long years ago. But the idea is that I told the bike shop what I was looking for. And then once it came available, they got me like a $7,000 bike for $500, right? So I was ready. I asked the right questions. And then when the right thing came into play, I moved, but I had to wait for the wind to go sailing. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's clear the deck for our Cancers and see what it is that our Cancers need to hear for the weekend ahead. Some practical advice or guidance for our Cancers. 7 of Wands and the Judgment reversed. And so this could be if you're like judging yourself that you didn't do something that you thought you were going to do with your life. You didn't get something done that you really thought you would have gotten done by now. And so I would say just be in full approval of all of that, right? Like I was working out the other day and my friend told me, you know, you're doing as much as you can right now for the thing that you're upset with yourself about, right? So that's what I'm going to tell you too, Cancer. It's like, no sense in being mad about it. Just do the most that you can for yourself right now in this situation that you might be like, God, it's too late. It's not for me. It passed me by, right? No, just do the most you can right now. And it will give you a sense of inner strength and the ability to go forward on that path, okay? All right. After our Cancers come our Leos. What is it that our Leos need to hear for the weekend ahead? Just some practical advice or guidance for any Leos watching. We've got a 2 of Pentacles and a 9 of Wands reversed. And so this too is that sense of yearning. Is the grass greener? Did I make the right decision? What if I did this instead? You know, and so the wind is coming, Leos, but this isn't necessarily the right time to make a full pivot because we've got that Mars and Gemini thing going on. You're going to have some back and forth. It's going to be natural to stay curious and wonder, what would it be like if I took this path instead? And so I'm just going to say, stay curious. There's something to that. There's a reason for your curiosity. So don't suppress it, right? This is about being on an adventure. And the 9 of Wands, it's like that delayed gratification. So whatever you're hoping for now is coming to you, right? So just know that there's some delayed gratification going on too, Leo. Okay. All right. Let's clear the deck here for our Virgos. Let's just clear the deck for our Virgos. What is it that our Virgos need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance that helps them feel seen by the unseen world. 10 of Pentacles and 7 of Cups reversed. Okay, so you're on a wealth building mission right now. You're building your empire. You're stacking up the cash. You know, you're saving. You're in a saving period. And so it might have taken you a while to get there. You might have had a lot of expenses on the journey. You might have been very frugal. Either way, it doesn't really matter because right now you're building your empire. You're trying to secure resources, right? It's not necessarily all about money, but resources. Have you guys ever played Catan? It makes me think of this game. And the 7 of Cups reversed here, it kind of gives me that feeling you can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. And you're in that get what you need empire building mode. So maybe you're stocking up on a couple of things that you know that you're going to need throughout the year. Maybe you are gathering resources in a different way than you thought you would. But this is a very fortunate card. And so be thankful, count your blessings. Be thankful that you are so prepared financially and with your resources, and then continue to be a good steward of the land, right? And of your finances. So good stewardship is a big deal with this combo, but also for you, Virgo. Okay, let's clear for Libra. What is it that our Libra friends need to hear? Some practical advice or guidance for our Libras. Okay, Queen of Wands and a 2 of Cups reversed. Okay, so this can be a little bit trouble in paradise for some Libras. This could be where one person in a relationship, any relationship here, that's coming out a little bit too strong or too needy or too assertive, and it throws things off. And so this is a message to try to rebalance the feminine masculine polarity first in yourself, right? You know, that sense of being like sensual and laid back and juicy and opening and relaxing into this structure, right? And then that also that side of you that is can be aggressive and assertive and you know, direct the energy. So there's a mismatch going on in your energy, and therefore you're seeing a mismatch out there in the world. So it's like that inner alignment of polarity stuff that's going on for you. Okay. All right. Good message. Good to know. Let's clear the deck after Libra for our Scorpios. What is it that our Scorpios need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance. See what it is our Scorpios need to hear. All right, we got a Chariot reverse and a Page of Cups. Okay, so this is like hanging on to your innocent hopes and dreams, the things that fulfilled you as a kiddo, some of your childhood wishes and dreams, something that just is really sweet. You know, this is a sense of being sweet and intimate and connected. The Chariot reversed here can be like a lack of cooperation, right? And so what's the lack of cooperation? Is it you and you? Is it your inner child and your adult self? Is that the lack of cooperation that's going on? That's what I would give you for consideration this weekend, Scorpio. All right. And then after our Scorpio comes our Sagittarius. So what is it that our Sag need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance, something that helps our Sagittarius feel seen by the unseen world. Two of Swords reverse and the Star. Okay, Sagittarius, this is an exciting time in your life. It's like anything that you've been kind of wishy-washy about, it's coming more and more clear to you about how you really want to live your life. You are the star of your own show, but the Star card is also about helping others. And so as you are rising to your best self, you know, your power, your empire, you're also called to help others, to give back, and to not be like, you know, selfish with your own resources or your own understandings. The Two of Swords reversed here could be that you're misheard, you're not well received, right? So just being careful with how you deliver your information, and work with your human design energy type, your aura type, for how you make decisions and how you best communicate. But just know that you're coming into a greater alignment with yourself than you've ever come before, and to not forget to help others along the way, maybe in the way that they can hear you, you know, the way that you can feel heard, but also the way that the message can be delivered. Okay, Sag. Let's clear now for our Capricorns. What is it that our Capricorns need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance for our Capricorns. Okay. Capricorns get an Eight of Cups and a Magician. Interesting energy here. So Capricorns, you know, what kind of magic are you making? What is your practical magic this weekend? The Magician makes lead into gold and water into wine, or maybe wine into water in my case, right? But the idea here is that there's some alchemy, there's something changing and shifting in your life. And you are directing it with your energy, consciously or unconsciously. You are directing the change of wealth, of relationship stuff, of love, of career, of a sense of purpose, of day-to-day stuff, of confusion, decision, anxiety, hopefulness. You're directing all of that right from in here. So this is about clearing up your own frequency in yourself, because there's a big, huge alchemy, shape-shifty magician thing going on. And it's already happening, and it's based on exactly the frequency that you're operating from. So this is kind of a call to bring awareness to the subconscious thing that you might be creating, okay? And then make it conscious. All right, simple as that, isn't it? All right. Okay, after our Capricorn comes Aquarius. What is it that our Aquarius friends need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance. Just sharing for our Aquarius, knowing there's a lot of Aquarian energy that's in empire building mode right now. We've got the Eight of Pentacles reversed and the Six of Swords. Okay, so this is important, Aquarius. You need to keep looking where you're going, not where you've been. Aquarius, there's a futuristic energy to it. So you're already doing a pretty good job of that. But there might be part of you that is like concerned, is this really going to work? Is this really going to happen? And all of those doubts that are starting to creep in, I want you to just like let them go. Like you're on a boat in the stream and you're just oaring that energy past you. Like, oh, that's a nice thought. I don't need that one. You know, let that go. Just keep letting it go. And then at some point, you might find that I can't let it go anymore. It's just in me, and I have to actually embrace it and accept it and say, I'm never letting go of my fear of losing it all. You know what I mean? That fear of like not getting your empire. And so whether you are rowing down the stream and letting that thought go, or whether you are embracing all of the darkness, those are two good methods to use to stay focused on what's in front of you, and to not let the other little doubts, insecurities pop in and take you down. You know what I mean? You've got to either let them go or embrace them fully in order to keep moving forward. All right, Aquarius, let's move on to our Pisces. What is it that our Pisces need to hear for the weekend ahead? Some practical advice or guidance for our Pisces. All right, we've got a 3 of Pentacles reversed and 8 of Pentacles reversed. So, all right, Pisces, if you feel like you've lost some of your creative side, it's time to get back into that. It feels like if things get too monotonous or too 9-to-5-y or too typical, they lose their luster for you. And so this is about finding a little bit ways to make life exciting and curious and interesting again, and just staying a little bit more creative with your energy. There is a creative solution. There's always a solution, but you're going to have to think outside of the box. You might have to push yourself or stretch yourself a little bit to get outside of the box. And so whatever is not typical for you, that's a good space to explore. Okay, let's go into our universal readings for all. Just want to welcome everyone again. I'm doing an introduction to mediumship class on December 19th. And Celeste of Astrology by Celeste and Sarah of Astro Auntie and I are doing a 2023 astrology predictions workshop on the solstice. Okay, so on the solstice on December 21st, we would love to have you in the workshop. You can check out all of our classes. I have the whole year of 2023 ahead, so you can see how we're strategically working through the year with our psychic development, our astrology, our human design all year long. And all of that's on wiseskiescollective.com on the classes page. So hope you can make it. Love to keep working with you. Our members get to come to class for free. So if that interests you, our membership is available for $39 a month. Great investment in your own self-alignment and the year ahead. Okay. Let's see, our universal card, King of Pentacles reversed and the Strength card. So the things that you think are important might not be so important. You know, if you've been building money, but it's about resources, if you've been building relationships, but it's about self-alignment, if you've been, you know what I mean? Some of the things aren't quite, they don't have the same weight of importance as we once thought they had. So things are shifting, and that requires an inner strength, a perseverance, a certain clarity to move past all of the distortion inside ourselves and the distortion that's out in the world today. So if some of you are feeling a little bit upside down, you know, not necessarily where you want to be, just be right where you are, right? Just be right where you are. This Strength card is not about getting far ahead or far behind. It's really about persevering. And so this is a moment where you can just be exactly as you are, accept all that is and isn't, right? Accept all that is and isn't. And then to move forward with strength is going to require some discipline. So it's going to require that you feed yourself well, that you get out of bed, that you make the bed. It's going to require a little bit of diet, exercise, meditation, stuff like this to keep your strength, right? It's going to require good nutrition. It's going to require good nurturing friendships. It's going to require being kind to yourself too. Okay. So you never know what you're training for, right? And that's when we get the Strength card. It's like, stay training, don't sleep, stay on top of your spiritual and physical hygiene. All right. I hope this has been useful to you, and I look forward to seeing you around the collective. I'm Tiffany, and thanks so much for being here. Namaste.